welcome.
Oh, no.
To the, well, some may call him honorable, but Adam Hayes.
I think you spoke a little bit too soon when it came to Hayes not sitting beside us, because he still found an excuse to come out here.
Look at that, look at that. Couple of sides.
Look at that, making his debut here in Port Hope, and it's almost like they could smell him from a mile away with that reaction.
A warm Port Hope welcome to your favorite talent in all new frontier, Adam Hayes.
How can you claim to be the favorite talent after the hometown boy Von Vertigo just fought his heart out?
No, I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Remain quiet or he's going to leave Port Hope.
Why is his shirt untucked?
I mean, not everyone can be as fancy as me and you, as me.
Well, yeah, definitely you.
All due respect, George.
I mean, I'm rocking a new Frontier t-shirt. I'm repping the brand.
Can't disrespect that. I mean, the thing with Hayes is he's not always wrong. Tarik may very well be the best wrestler in this company. Hell, he might be the best wrestler in the whole world today. Pound for pound, no one can touch him. This man is 9-0 in New Frontier.
Listen, the record speaks for itself, Kevin. You're absolutely right. Hayes is not always wrong. Fact is that Tarik would have been 9-0 without Adam Hayes. That's it.
I mean, I can't disagree with that, but let's take a look back at history. Let's look at the list of people Tarik has defeated. We're talking legendary names like 20-year veteran Steve Brown. We're talking a modern messiah in the ring in your best friend, Gabriel Fuerza. Recently, we saw him go toe-to-toe with Travis Moore, and the last time we saw him, he defeated a recognized world champion in Leighton Buzzard. Tarik is on a roll unlike anyone in New Frontier or Ontario Wrestling has ever seen, George.
And yet, with all that behind him, has he challenged Cranio X? Has he gone to the matchmaker and said, I could be the world champion? No, you know why? He's scared.
His opponent in this Mark X Buster Challenge match. From Toronto, Ontario, weighing at 311 pounds, Big John Green!
Well, how about this? Tarik's biggest test so far could be the former enforcer of the matchmaker, the one, the only, the always dangerous John Green. This is a man who's all business all the time. As long as the check clears, he will do whatever he has to do. And right now, if he wants his check to be a little bit bigger, a little bit sweeter, he may have to hand Tarik his first New Frontier loss.
Well, I mean, if anyone's up to the task, John Green, one of the most agile big men I have ever had the honor of seeing between those ropes. You know, John Green, not too long ago, was actually sent home by the matchmaker for not enforcing the rules here in New Frontier. The matchmaker called him up and said, you know what, Green, I'll give you one shot, but you got to come back and you got to take down the undefeated Tarik. If you can do that, I'll welcome you back with open arms. And that's exactly what John Green is here to do.
I would love if John Green not only beat Tarik, but I would absolutely love Adam Hayes got hurt in the process.
Well, here's the thing with John Green. I mentioned it earlier. We've seen Tarik take down competitors the size and the strength of Steve Brown. We've seen him take down people as quick as El Diablo, Gabriel Fuerza, but when you're looking at John Green, you're looking at a hybrid athlete, the strength of a super heavyweight, the speed of a junior heavyweight, the agility unlike anyone you've seen before. Tarik may be pound for pound the best wrestler in Canada today, but John Greed is a competitor unlike anyone has ever seen before.
I would put it this way. This is David versus Goliath for the first time in this Mark Assbuster challenge. Tarik may be the David.
And we're just moments away from finding that out. John Greed making his in-ring debut here for New Frontier. Over a year after appearing on screen, I guess, for the first time.
Now, what possibly could Adam Hayes be pepping up Tarik? And here we go. And John Greed is one of the best wrestlers when it comes to being slow and methodical, breaking your opponent down. John Greed right now oozes confidence. He's oozing, to quote Razor Ramon, machismo. Did I say that right?
I think you did. I think it's pronounced machismo. I think you're correct in that. You know, John Greed, Tarik, these two men know each other quite well when it comes to professional wrestling. This is the first time they are meeting in a New Frontier, and with their current attitudes and methodology in this business.
Look at that, John Greed telling Tarik it should be one-on-one. As Adam Hayes has before become the X factor for Tarik in this winning streak.
And we heard Adam Hayes earlier today almost laughing off the possibility of Greed being able to defeat Tarik, but now that he's ringside, now that he's looking up at the behemoth that is John Greed, he seems to be singing a different tune, wouldn't you say, George?
Absolutely. Hayes is great when he's far away or well protected or out of earshot. But when he's looking a man dead in the face, Hayes does what all managers do. Cower like little bitches.
Couldn't have put it better myself, George. Greed, Tarik, one of the most anticipated matches of Immortality 2 here live on the Fight Network. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Lock up center of the ring. And you know, if we're talking a power game, it's not a good idea to go power against a man like John Greed.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't want to go chop for chop with John Greed. I wouldn't want to go punch for punch with John Greed. I honestly and truly believe I wouldn't want to go kick for kick with John Greed either.
Oh, Tarik bouncing off the ropes. Off the ropes he goes, trying to take down Greed, but Greed just a brick wall, going for a clothesline, ducking underneath goes Tarik. Tarik able to stagger Greed just a bit. Frankensteiner to the big man.
Tarik better stop it. Tarik better turn around because John Greed is right back up.
Oh! And Tarik, position we're not used to seeing Tarik in very often. Back up to a vertical base. But Greed with one arm slamming down Mr. Punch Kick Chop. Off the ropes he goes. And that moment of hesitation before dropping that elbow. Again, the hang time Greed has, it's almost like he can defy gravity for that split second, going for the cover, kick out from Tarik.
You know what that elbow looks like when it's coming down at you from Tarik's perspective? It's like a wrecking ball hitting a building.
I couldn't have put it better myself, George. But John Greed, almost a human wrecking ball when it comes to dismantling his opponents in that ring.
Now, don't get me wrong, Tarik has beat men bigger than him. Steve Brown, perfect example. But the difference is, John Greed's a little bit more solid than the Bone Crusher Steve Brown. John Greed can take a lot more punishment. John Greed is also incredibly dangerous, and John Greed also has a very bad temper.
Absolutely. Combine all that with the fact that John Greed is fighting for an opportunity to remain here in New Frontier as an active competitor. You know, John Greed, he's a hard-working man. He works that 9 to 5, but 4 times in a month he gets to get in that ring and he gets to show the world who he really is. As Tarik delivers Air Tarik to Greed. But as I was saying, Greed, anytime he's given that opportunity to show the world what he can do in that ring, he gives it 110, 120, 200% of himself. and I'm sure that's what we're going to see against Tarik in this Mark Ass Buster Challenge.
The problem is that Tarik his ring IQ is incredible. The fact is, he's already thinking 5-6 moves ahead. He knows that John Greed's not going to be an easy challenge. But the thing is, Tarik knows what he has to do. And he oozes that swagger just like John Greed oozes that swagger. But the difference is, when John Greed hits you, he hits you out to deal pain. Not just to deal blows to win a match. He hits you with intent to hurt you.
Absolutely, and John Greed is one of the most respected competitors on the scene, very much a locker room leader, and that's not a position that he asked for. That's a position that has simply been thrust upon him by the people around him. You know, there's a lot of people in the back that they want to see Tarik Street come to an end, and I'm sure they would love it if John Greed was the man to do it.
Chop like that. Look at it, look. I think I see Hayes sweating a little bit. I think he's getting a little nervous. Oh, look at that. Cheap shot by Tarik.
Tarik does what he has to do to come out on top. Now here comes the chop, if you will, from Mr. Punch Kick Chop. Getting a little momentum. Beautiful flying European uppercut to the big man.
Tarik is so fluid when he wrestles.
And a kick out at 2 from Greed, and I can't take that away from Tarik. As I've said, Tarik, one of the most impressive athletes I've ever had the pleasure of watching in the ring, but I gotta think, if he didn't have Hayes there, if he didn't have that extra X factor, he could still be just as dangerous without him.
Absolutely agree. He doesn't need Hayes. Look at Hayes trying to get the cheap shot right there.
That's not a game you want to play against John Greed, that's for sure. John Greed maybe paying a little bit too much attention to Hayes.
I actually don't think John Greed even knew he was standing in front of him. He is dazed. The thing about John Greed is that he's still on a vertical base. It's going to take a lot more than what Tarik's doing to put him down. I mean, he's causing a punishment, but John Greed can, look at this.
Oh! And Greed's a hard man to knock down, but, you know, a lot of people like to say Tarik may be the hardest hitter in Ontario, but if there's anyone else, you know, maybe a 1A and a 1B, John Greed is right up there with him.
I would absolutely agree. Right now, this is a match about this has not become about the Mark Ass Buster Challenge. This is about trying to end a winning streak. Oh, look at this. Tarik staying focused on this sign. More, giving John Greed definite seconds to recover right now.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to do to someone as experienced as Greed. Tarik taking a moment to talk a little bit of smack to his challenger, to his undefeated streak, and it was enough to give Greed what he needed. As Tarik, all of his weight comes down on that point of his elbow.
And that's the thing, right? All John Greed needed was that time to recover. Tarik gave it to him. Actually, correction. Tarik's ego gave it to him, and now Tarik himself finds himself in a very different position in this match than he wants to.
And there's that agility I was talking about. John Greed putting almost 275 pounds into that strike, knocking Tarik down to the mat.
How at 275 are you able to do a flying elbow? How?
You know, if we had a science professor in here, a physics professor, I don't think they could understand the equation that is John Greed. Going for the cover, Tarik, but not enough to put away Greed just yet. The Mark Ass Buster Challenge continues.
Now, if you notice at the beginning stage of this match, Tarik's pins were very nonchalant. They were almost disrespectful. Now, the pins are more tighter. The pins are harder, the pins are more momentum, more body weight. So now I think he's starting to respect John Greed just a little bit more.
Well, it was a similar thing we saw when Tarik was going toe-to-toe with the janitor, Travis Moore, at our last event. He started off the match very nonchalant, oh, come on, this is who you're putting up against me. But by the end of it, sure, you didn't see it from Adam Hayes, but in the eyes of Tarik, you knew there was a newfound respect. And we're seeing that exact same thing here tonight, as you mentioned, George.
Yeah, what I love most about that last show is that Travis Moore was this close from ending Tarik's winning streak, but also the former ICW champion, Leighton Buzzard, laid out Adam Hayes. That was Christmas for me.
Oh, you love that. You love that.
That's actually my ringtone. You call that video.
I'm going to have to call you more often just to bring joy to your head. But speaking of joy, John Greed, that big enziguri, a victory here will bring a lot of joy to him.
Oh,
beautiful.
my God.
Tarik getting turned inside out.
Tarik literally almost went over the top rope to the floor.
Again, his organs might be rearranged after a shot like that. John Greed, if he can get up to his feet first, I think we could be looking at 9-1 with Greed being the one. The fans here at the Jack Burger Sports Complex getting behind John Greed, one of the most impressive competitors in wrestling today. A man who is known far and wide across this great nation.
Look at those forearm shots are like sledgehammers.
And then Tarik's as well, a little bit more precise.
Oh, how about that?
That snap jab.
Nobody does that better than Greed.
And one more for Greed. You know, and I've seen Greed go toe-to-toe with people like, I know we haven't seen him here in New Frontier, but Holden Albright, a man who is literally one of the most vicious competitors. Beautiful cannonball to Tarik. You know, Greed was able to come out on top against competitors like that. Can he continue that here against Tarik? Kick out at 2 from Tarik. Greed starting to rally the troops, if you will.
I have never seen Tarik in a position like this before in my run here in New Frontier. I have never seen someone have Tarik in this position where the outcome might be extremely different.
Agreed, he's setting up for that package pile driver. I've seen him win titles with that move. Tarik having it scouted. But again, the damage may have been done to Tarik. He's not able to get that momentum like he usually is. Oh! Greed able to put a stop to that momentum. Disaster kick from Tarik, sending Greed to the outside, but Greed still standing.
Hold on, Tarik gonna fly.
Corkscrew splash from Tarik.
Say what you want to say about the company he keeps, but you cannot deny the skill and ability of Tarik.
Tarik up top, beautiful elbow drop to John Greed, right to the heart of the big man. Kick out at 2 7/8. Greed in no rush to get to his feet, looking to catch his breath a little bit, and Tarik seems to be giving him that time. Adam Hayes as well, trying to give Tarik a little bit of encouragement. Tarik up on that second rope. Greed up to his feet and catching Tarik, possibly going for a Uranagi. Tarik fights out of it with that stiff elbow. There it is, Uranagi, center of the ring. This could be the opening. Greed is looking for, going for the cover. No, still 9-0. This match will continue, says the official Chris Holler.
I'm baffled right now. I thought that Uranagi at the center of the ring was going to be it, but John Greed going over the ropes gave Tarik those precious seconds. When you hit a move like that, you gotta pin your opponent right away.
Greed, fireman's carry, going for that TKO. Tarik using the momentum to spin out of it. Stiff strike, off the ropes he goes. Beautiful, beautiful maneuver from Greed. 9-1. This is it. I cannot believe that this match is still going on, George.
I don't know what these two have left. They have literally hit each other with everything. Is that 6? I think you might have to go with the first pick at this point.
I don't know. I am just speechless after that move that John Greed had. That was the most danger Tarik's undefeated streak has been in. But Tarik can't even get to his feet, George.
John Greed is up and he's stalking. It's like a wolf stalking his prey right now. This may be the end of the Mark Buster
Greed
challenge.
Going for that package pile driver. Tarik rolling through. Greed getting that elbow up. Tarik rolling through again. Beautiful vertical leap from Tarik. No. No.
way.
No. 275 pounds off the top rope.
But look at Creed, he's back. I don't know how.
Oh, and we've seen Tarik win a couple of matches with this. Is this it? There it is.
Wow. I have never.
Well, George, the Mark-Ass Buster Challenge ended with a winning result for Tarik himself, still undefeated, now 10-0. Now you gotta wonder, what does the future hold for Tarik now that he's gone 10-0? He's reached double digits.
Well, here's what I'm saying. After this match tonight, I have seen kinks in Tarik's armor. There have been openings for what somebody might have to do. Whoever's brave enough to answer this challenge for number 11, John Greed just showed you the formula how to do it. You just got to put it all together.
Greed came within milliseconds of turning Tarik's record into 9-1, but I know you're saying he's showing some weakness in his game plan, but if John Greed can't do it, who can, George?
I don't have the answer to that question, but you know who does? Matchmaker. Always got a plan. Always.